Hello, I'm Robyn and I am 6's Music's artist in residence. Today I am at BBC's Maida Vale Studios in London, where I will be breaking down some of the tracks on my new album, 6's. I'm joined by Joseph Mount, my beloved longtime collaborator and producer. And I'm going to give you an insight into my creative process and how I like to make music. This is BBC Radio 6 Music's Artist in Residence, AAA, with me, Robyn. Welcome to Joseph's and Robyn's
chat.
I don't know, reminiscing chat.
Is that the idea? We're going to reminisce.
We're going to reminisce.
We're going to talk about how songs were made.
I mean, there were so many versions.
We're going to talk about Really Real, yeah?
Yeah, let's start there.
So,
what do you have?
As I remember, we started making that in Paris. I can't remember what year, but a long time ago.
Yeah.
Like, we knew each other.
Yeah.
But we were getting to know each other.
True.
I was a bit, impressed by the whole situation.
So was I.
Oh, good.
So was I, Joseph.
But I hadn't really, done that kind of session before, and especially not with someone so popular. So, I remember we were in Paris in this nice little studio. We did some writing, and then I had an old backing track that I thought would be quite good. And then on one of these days in Paris, we started working on it and came up with a song, I think, called Inedible, about not being able to eat.
There was a lot of philosophizing around it too.
Yeah, it's very true. And I think I tried to convince, it was inedible. Does that work in a song?
You have the weirdest song lyrics ever, so I thought you were going to buy it.
I don't think that was me.
Well, I was obviously super impressed by you already because I loved your album and I was just really excited about it.
I remember it as a sort of getting to know each other type session. I think I just had my second child, so I was not sleeping that much. And then come
we
and
wrote
see
a song called Inedible.
But I mean, I can play a little bit of it.
Yeah.
And I was listening to it recently, and it's quite nice how you see some of the lyrics which were good. No, but they were all good. But the ones which which made it to the end of Really Real.
Yeah, turn it up. Love that kick drum.
Yeah. There's lots of things to like about this.
Kept that.
We should have kept a lot of this.
What? That's cool though.
Yeah.
We can use that for another song later.
Yeah.
That's cool. We'll change that word.
But I the thing that I remember being very exciting about working with you then was how up until that point in my own music, lyrics have always been a kind of not an afterthought, but they don't necessarily lead their songs. And I remember working with you how I was just oh wow, the first thought will be this a lyrical idea. And I kind of realized very quickly how the way you use words isn't at all the same as I would. And so hooks from your songs are often just things which I wouldn't immediately think about.
Is it because the rhythm of it? Because I'm Swedish and I don't know English that well.
But no, I remember me and you in class and had conversations about it. I think there probably is an element of you being
lost in translation.
I think being freer with English than maybe English people are. I remember working with you in class and you being well, what are we trying to say? And it's we're trying to say this. So well, just sing that then. So anyway,
be specific maybe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And with the example of inedible,
Yeah.
I was like, no, like,
Very
why not?
specific. Why not?
Like, why not? It totally, like, it's fine. It can be sung.
But that's weird to me because I think your lyrics are so good. I'm reading lots of things into your lyrics always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the amount of conversations there are.
Yeah, we had lots of conversations about
Yeah.
this one. But I also think that that's like how I defined this album. The thought about what it was going to be was a lot through our conversations. Because they were like the first thing that I did was to just go through the songs that we had or songs that I had from before and be like, what is this? Can it be put together? Because there were some old songs and some new ones, some things that we had worked on. And you really helped me kind of like define the language of the album.
Oh, that's very...
Yeah, you really did. And then Klaus came in and was like very like fascist and like, you have to understand what it is that you want to say, which was also really good. But it was kind of like we started, the language of the record, I think.
Yeah. Like, I remember having a big conversation about, like, Swedish pop supremacy. And and I remember saying that to, like, you both, and you being like, oh, really? You think so?
What?
And I was, like, listing all of, like, you know, whatever, ABBA, you, Roxette. Incredible.
The Cardigans.
The Cardigans, like, insanely good.
Yeah.
But there is, like, a cerebral thing, which is like, okay, what are you trying to say? How can you say it in the most, like, efficient way in, like, a pop song? And I think
maybe
that's
like
really
sometimes
cool.
in a way that's not comfortable at first.
And so, like, with inedible, I think, like, what happened was that version of the track, it kind of wasn't it. And I think you then took it off and, like, but liked the melody and, like, there was a kind of nugget of a really cool idea there.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and we kind of finished the verses and the lyrics, I think, before we started producing it in Sweden, you and me and Klaus. I think we reverted back to a chorus that was written earlier.
Like, I mean, I guess the kind of next...
The next version?
The next version I have, which I think is like, I think I'm skipping a few versions.
Yeah, there was a few. I remember. The arpeggio is in this one, but it's a different sound.
And sadly, inedible has been lost.
The silence gives it all away, like nothing's ever gonna be the same again. Tied up under your duvet, you mid-performance, I'm planning my escape.
Yeah, those are our lyrics.
Dedicated to the end. Right there when you call my name, I want to swallow, but it ain't the same.
And the Russian choirs are
This
in.
is how it feels. Is it really, really real? Baby, tell me how it feels.
Nice.
Is it really, really real? Yeah, we're splitting up reality.
Ooh.
The other thing is, so the times where I would come to Stockholm, I don't really have a life in Stockholm outside of
But you do.
Robyn.
No, that's true. Outside of my world.
But we would be working the day, and it would finish like whatever time, and so I'd be
Never
left
going
for the
back.
evening, and I'd sit in a windowless hotel room in
When we
Stockholm.
weren't raving
When we weren't raving
until early morning.
until the early morning.
You were in your hotel room.
I just listen and listen and listen. I remember one night having this epiphany of the little bells.
Is it really, really real? Yeah, we're splitting up reality.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, we're splitting. And I thought, it'd be nice if there was some kind of like...
Because there's a chord there.
Ding dong, ding dong.
Yeah, great idea.
Which is... And I think Klaus went on to sort of like, in the end version, like...
Build it out.
Build it out a bit. But
Yeah,
Ooh.
we're splitting up reality. Slide through the crack in between it. Is it really real?
The weirdness of this song, like how dramatic it is, because this chorus was the chorus that I wrote before I even had this session with you. And it was out for a while because it just felt, like you said, just so cerebral. And like it's a song about like thinking about what you're thinking about.
yeah.
But when I hear it in this version, I'm like so impressed that we stuck with it though.
Yeah.
It's like my favorite song on the album, I think, now.
So I remember like, us working into it, kind of taking my very boring looking blue and green version.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can't even be bothered to label things. I think that's your vocal.
Sometimes they're orange.
There you go.
Baby, tell me how it feels.
But I remember the three of us, me and Klaus, taking it to a point, and then at those sessions with Klaus, I remember you playing me like what you'd been working on with the other tracks, and I was like, oh wow, like everything's sounding super incredible. And I think like there was a point at which like the songs that we were working on, like Really Real and Sucker for Love, they needed to sort of be taken into like more that the world of Klaus. And yeah, so I feel like this is probably like how we left it. Or we did the guitar solo maybe. The three of us, we convinced Klaus to do a guitar solo.
Yeah. I was like, we have to have a shred on the album, and Klaus is gonna do. Or first I thought you were gonna do it. No, first we were gonna have a Spanish guitar.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what happened. We were gonna have a flamenco guitar on this. And then that was actually Klaus' idea. It's kind of like on the level with his like idea of putting the word centipede into a song. He pushed that really far as well, but that never worked. But we had a flamenco guitar idea, and then I was like, no, you have to direct him when he's shredding because he knows how to do it. But then he kind of just took over.
I'm happy he's not here to defend himself.
Yeah.
And I remember before Klaus, who was in the room, I remember thinking of like, who's the guitarist of our time?
Right.
Which now we know is Klaus. But before, I was thinking
the
him as
rapper
like,
and the guitarist of our time.
But I remember thinking like, who could it be? And I think I came to the conclusion that if you were to get someone, it would have to be like Matt Bellamy from Muse. You'd have to get like someone really like technical, like
exactly,
but
like our time's Van Halen.
Yes. But by then Klaus was already doing it.
Yeah. Klaus was like, I can shred, and then I was like, Joseph's gonna direct you.
Then he told me to leave. And he shredded. So this is the Klaus, the shred.
Yeah.
Is it real?
I mean, if there's any guitarists listening, I'd argue there's quite a lot of editing going on. I don't think that's all guitar.
It's not live.
I don't think Klaus is really shredding there.
No, it's true. But it works.
The thing about that actually, and it's, you know, is amazing, is like, just here, like there's so much detail. Like I can tell that like the amount of like kind of diving in on tiny little things.
Yeah. And little breaks and pauses, and we decided to make it not on the beat either. Just pull it out, and we were going back and forth.
And it's so impressive. And like, you know, I just don't have the time to do that.
You have 3 kids.
I have 3 kids. I'm a busy guy. Well, let's talk about the lyrics.
Well, you really helped me to define it, because I had this idea of writing about like when you have sex with someone and you realize you're just not in love with them anymore, and then it got kind of like graphic and no, but I think that's also like how, because even though I don't have the same respect for like the English language as I should have sometimes, but sometimes I really don't know how to say things. And I just always felt like when we write lyrics together, it's really, they get so much better because you know what it is that I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I was like thinking back to this when we were writing it, and like you had quite a kind of like simple premise for the lyric, and how I was like getting a bit wrapped up in how kind of dramatic the music was. And I like the idea of it kind of like being like theatre or something. Yeah. And I can't remember, there's like...
it's so bombastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Silence gives it all away, like nothing's ever gonna be the same again. Tied up under your duvet, you mid-performance, I'm planning my escape.
All that kind of stuff, like planning your escape,
Duvet?
and all those things. Duvet.
It's a good word.
It's a really good word. I like the idea of it being this sort of like very melodramatic thing. But I like the way with all these things you never really necessarily...
It's not so clear.
Yeah, and it's not like magic.
I guess the balance that we found, I think, was this thing of like it feels really crazy, but the word duvet, for example, is not. And it's like the balance in between, like describing this bedroom and like something very concrete, and then the feeling is just very like just in your mind, kind of, and that's what the whole song is about, I guess. The disconnection between like what's actually happening and how it feels.
But I think it's quite a good, like, accurate description as well of like what happens when you're breaking up with someone. Like, it's incredibly like mundane, but then in your head you're like, okay, at some point I'm gonna have to like start the sentence which ends with me saying like, I don't want to be with you. And it's like, you try it out, it's like, well, like...
Yeah, saying it is the creepiest thing.
And I guess that's quite fun, like, lyrically, like, it does accurately reflects all that sort of, like, your head overthinking and kind of...
And I remember the excitement also when we were like, okay, this is the dramatic world, and we were kind of reveling in it, and then we had this idea about the Russian man choir, and it was getting really, like, devilish and really extreme, and like production-wise, like entering this place that nobody really knew what it was. And that was really exciting. And then Claes had this idea that you have to call your mom and be like, tell her about your night and this disconnection when you're like in another time zone and you want to talk about what you're feeling, but you can't because you're like in a club and your mother's at home like making tea and worried about your sleep. And then we got my mom in to record. I love that. Also, we ended up not having my mom on there because we found out that when I recorded it and we just pitched down my voice to sound exactly like her.
Just make yourself a cup of tea and go to bed.
That's what I really love about where it's ended up, is Claes managed to sort of, production-wise, like embody all the kind of lyrical stuff and the sort of whole, like, when it falls apart in the middle.
It's kind of like a metal song with like a pop synth production or something.
Sucker for love.
So Sucker for Love began at the same time in Paris.
What a great song.
I'm a sucker for love. I'm not a sucker, I'm a sucker for love. I'm just a sucker for love.
It's a great song.
Yeah, it changed so much.
It did.
Because the first one was a demo I made with Roykstop.
Yeah.
And that was, I don't even know, like...
I can probably tell you the date.
Can
if you
you?
want. Can I? That says 2015.
It was even before that.
Oh, it could have been, yeah.
There was one from 2013.
Oh, It's All On You, there you go.
Yeah, it doesn't even have the same name.
No, it's called It's All On You. And it had these like, which I still quite like them.
Yeah, I know.
But maybe the O's were too 2015.
Maybe. But you know, like on a different production, it could still work.
Yeah.
You give that look over your shoulder. What did I do? Should I bother? I get confused.
Fjost.
Is it over? I never know with you. I gave it all. It's not my fault. It's all on you.
Yeah, it's too happy.
It's very happy.
Yeah.
And I remember like hearing it and thinking, like if someone kind of brings you an idea or something like as kind of much of a demo as that, you think to yourself, well, like I guess I'm in a room with them because they want me to bring some of me into this.
Of course.
And so you kind of think like, well, like what would I do? You probably even at the time were like, oh, it's too happy. And so I thought, well, like it needs a different section. I guess it wasn't so much of a chorus.
It's like a end of a verse that was like a chorus. It just kind of like, it's all on you, it's all on you.
Yeah. I should use the piano. And then it was like, I was like, let's make it sad.
Yeah, the way you do it.
So I like, that was my contribution
which was great.
to making it sad.
Yeah. And then we started writing on it
Yeah.
in a totally different way.
Well, I think with that jolly verse,
Yeah.
and then into a kind of
Sad.
painful thing. So this, I think, was what we ended up with on the kind of day of doing it. And that's the new chords, yeah.
Which is great.
I'm out of luck. So walk over. You don't pick up. I get what I deserve. I'm not as tough as you are. I'm just a sucker for love. It's typical. You said you'd call. Sucker for love.
Ooh.
Sucker for love. I'm just a sucker for love.
That's as well, like when it was just sucker for love.
Do you know who came up with the for love?
Well,
Do you know who that was?
Who did come up with the sucker for
The break? Love.
love?
Because we wrote this chorus and then I played it to Max Martin. He was like, put in a pause there.
Show me love. Show me life. I'm a sucker for love. I'm not a sucker, I'm a sucker for love. I'm just a
Sucker for love.
Yeah, well.
So that he's been a part of it too, but he's kind enough to not take credit for it.
But I guess at that point, like the song, you could tell there was something cooking.
Totally. And also it's like this classic structure of like a pop song that's like, sounds like it's written on a guitar, which it isn't, but it sounds like that. It sounds like a rock song.
Yeah.
Like a rock pop song.
And I think in the really early demo,
as tough as you are. I'm just
Right.
a sucker for love.
Yeah.
and I think
I really
we were like, well, that's
That's what we need to do.
that's the thing. It needs to be
Yeah.
sucker for love.
Yeah, and that was so exciting when that kind of like, because I loved that. And when we decided to just do that, it was like I just want to have that word on everything now.
And I think also like there's a thing when you have like the word love like over kind of like minor
it's-
chords,
yeah.
like oh love.
Yeah, there needs
And-
something else before it.
Yeah. And then I remember like I think you were like, I think it needs like bigger drums. Like the drums need to be, I can't remember. I think you were maybe on a bit of a David Bowie phase.
Always on the David Bowie face.
And,
But also you made the most amazing drums for this that we never used.
That's true.
Do you have those drums
I
there?
think I've got, they here, this is where it
We
ended
tried
up.
to keep the drums forever. I never wanted to let them go.
Well, thank class for that.
Yeah.
And I think this actually has your, if you're scared, say you're scared.
Ooh.
If you're scared, say you're scared.
So it's a bit like modern love
Yes.
drums.
Uh-huh. Woo! The Weeknd.
It is a bit
The Weeknd
weekendish,
would have
isn't
loved this.
it? Yeah.
Da-da-dum. That's you too. Da-da-dum.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Bow, bow.
There's like this little...
God, I love this song.
To me, at the beginning, this was the hook.
Dum,
Yeah.
dum, dum.
And then I think class was like, no, I think the hook's the melody. Like, all right, fine.
The Swedish person he is, yeah.
He added the no.
Bing, 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 bing. Good melody. Well, they work well together.
Yeah. No, it's true. I mean, they fit around each other.
I'm out of luck. It's pretty simple. You think I'm soft, but it's not my fault. I'm not as tough as you are. I'm just a sucker for love. No, love is not fair, but get by under prayer. Sucker for love.
That has the That has the pause.
I'm still not sure if we made the right choice.
Decision. It's funny because I was listening to it earlier and I was thinking exactly the same thing. It's funny because when you say like, oh, it should have live drums, like David Bowie kind of stuff, I'm like, oh, well, I know this one song called Modern Love. Let's like, and I'm quite sort of like route one, I guess, with how I react to stuff like that. And so to me, it was like, well, this is like a 80s pop power song, which I should point out predates the Weeknd song, which you're talking about.
Yes, I agree.
But then I guess when you get into the nuts and bolts of like making an album, like a coherent record.
No, then it changes.
Then it changes completely. And I think like going from this to where it's ended up, it's obviously very different. But in terms of like the world of Sexistential, it's like this would not live there, you know what I mean?
Could.
No, it's too late,
Let's
Robyn.
go back. No, but I think what we came to was this kind of like, let's make it smaller, right?
Yeah.
It was like the width of it was like where we experimented.
Yeah. Well, no, completely.
But we can bring this sound back for the tour. We can do the hook this way.
You can do a Christmas.
Yeah, we can do a Christmas.
album.
Exactly. That's what it sounds like. Yeah.
And then...
Then we wrote the mid-8. There you got your oh-oh-ohs as well.
Yeah.
Who wins? I used to have thicker skin, but I chose to let you in. I could be bulletproof, but still I lose. Oh.
Quite often, like, you'd like do an a cappella, like this a cappella, and I remember, because I've been obviously with you when you're doing vocals with class, and it's the most important thing of any song you do. And when you've not been in the room to have to sort of endure it, and you just receive this like, a cappella,
this perfect
you're
thing.
like,
But
whoa.
these ad-libs I actually did on my own.
I could be bulletproof, but still I lose. Oh.
Yeah, it's like,
It was a pleasure to do it. I was trying to be the Ronettes.
well, you could be.
Baby, I love only you.
You know, I think at the same time you were doing things like Dopamine and...
Light Up.
Yeah, exactly. And they had this world, which I think at that point I was just like, you guys are
We're on a train.
roll,
Yeah.
and you know exactly what you're doing. And I think I've said it before about like, because people know I work with you, and they know like the things take some time.
Forever.
And they're like, so when's that Robyn stuff coming out? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. But like, when it's ready.
When it's ready. Oh, no, yeah. The amount of versions we have on all these tracks, and this is faster than a lot of the other things. I don't know. It's I'm just slow.
The most impressive and reassuring thing about like working with you is that like, you know, when it's good enough, that's when you will receive it.
Yeah.
And like I personally kind of have worried about like just people getting bored and losing them if you don't kind of keep putting out music. Whereas I know that it's like you have to just be 100% convinced it's ready, and I think that's really impressive.
Well, it's cool that you put up with it, because I know how frustrating it can be. Honey is like maybe the clearest example of how bad it can get. But I think it does make sense to go through all the different versions of what a song could be when it's this good. Like when you know that it's like with Sucker for Love, I felt like we had this little jewel. It was so clear, and with those words too, Sucker for Love, like it was such a... You could make it into any kind of song if you wanted to. And so it was just about really making sure that the alternatives were gone through, and that's a lot of times how I work, and I really enjoy it actually, tearing something apart, and then you understand, okay, what's the thing that we need to save? I rarely feel like this, that I'm like, oh, this version is so good. I usually feel like we've gone through it all and we reached that point, but I think this version of it is amazing too. But I don't expect everyone to understand, and I don't expect everyone to put up with it. But it's like, if you do, there is something beautiful about just letting yourself like be kind of like of service of the song instead of your own like need to get it out quickly.
And I think this version, for example, is like, to my ears, it's like, oh, it's super poppy, blah, 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 blah. But like the thing with you is that production-wise, people expect it to be like cutting edge. Like, that's a bit of a lame way of putting it. For it to be like exciting production-wise.
Yeah, that was exciting.
It's exciting, but it's kind of a bit obvious, like where my points of reference are. And I think that like for your fans, that's not necessarily like what they want. Are we going to look at Ever Again?
Yeah.
Is that the plan?
This song, you and me wrote from scratch in Paris in a day.
I mean...
It was one of those. It doesn't happen that often, but when it happens, it's a joy.
Come on, let's have it out. Go ahead and try a little crazy on me. You don't have to worry about this pulling and pushing away. We never used to get it right. So baby, you're right for getting started, but that's not how it's gonna be. That shit's out the door. That shit's out the door. Gonna be broken-hearted ever again.
So I remember, as Robyn alluded to earlier, like the process of making Honey was very long and quite difficult for you. Like, not for me, I was just around. But like, it was kind of the first time I'd been involved in something so big and important, dipping into your world of like caring so much and trying to sort of like shift my head to be more like that about sonic stuff and everything. And as I recall, like it was the end of a day and we were like, oh, like let's just do something.
It was kind of like the end of the album too. We were kind of finishing all the songwriting and we were like moving on to production and finishing other things, but...
The thing that I remember is like you, the whole time of making the album, you were like so obsessed with Prince. I mean, you still are, but like, you were like so into it. And I was thinking like, it's kind of weird that like someone so obsessed with Prince is like just avoiding making a song that is in that kind of world.
Yeah.
And you had this idea, like a little chord thing on the piano, which I don't know if you can
I don't remember it. It was a synthesizer. It was like a little keyboard that I was playing around with. It was just a tiny little chord section.
It's this. And that's you playing.
It's me trying to play a guitar riff.
And so the other thing, when Robyn was in her Prince era, is you bought a Lindrum.
Yeah.
And you were kind of obsessing about that as well. And in the studio we were in, they had a Lindrum, and I think...
Oh, yeah.
So
did I make some beats?
Well, yeah, we kind of did it with the little Lin.
Oh, yeah, but that's you. Yeah.
Well, I can't remember. I think we, you know, I mean, this is a very basic drum beat.
But it's great. But this is the thing that you're so good at.
What's that?
No, not the Lindrum. I mean, you're good at many things, but like of being so specific with what to keep and what to throw out, and to be so minimal about things and still so clear about where the tension in the chord structure has to be. I mean, it's like not really real when you added that hook in the chorus of it. I mean, this is just the drums and the chords. But then what happened when you produced it was that it turned into this epic, very compressed, beautiful outro.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like Prince at all. Like, it sounds like something else.
That's good, if I can get to that point.
Yeah, you do.
The other thing that's in here is like, I just heard it then is a nice little, like, little mistake.
Yeah. Ding, 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 ding. But I think also it was the rhythm of that, kind of like me trying to play a guitar on a synthesizer that made us write that melody. Because the verse melody came like when I was sitting there with those chords, and it's kind of like this like talking thing that I don't know how to write on the guitar because I don't play the guitar, but I think those are my favorite songs because guitars pull something out of you that's like immediately wants you to kind of like wiggle your hips a little bit.
Well, I remember you kind of going like... But I think these were like recorded...
Come on, let's have it out.
Like on
Right
the
there,
day. Yeah.
Go ahead and try a little crazy on me.
At first I was just doing this and I was like being just doing yogurt, as they say in French. And then you were like, come on, let's have it out. Like, that's one of the things that I would never say. Is the exact thing that we do. Like, I would be like, and you're like, that's how you say it. And you put it right there. It's like, I was just really heartbroken and back in a relationship that I should not be back in. And it was like I was telling myself that if this doesn't work, I'm not gonna let it hurt me. Like, and it was so nice to have this like conversational, like talking voice verse where I was just kind of like allowing myself to be more like blasé about feeling sad, which never really happened before. I never wrote that. And it's kind of sexy and flirty, and in that sense, it's very Princey, I guess.
Yeah, we've done so many of these like intense songs.
Melodious,
very
melodious.
Yeah. And like we were coming to the end of the record. We were also starting to think about like how like the sequencing of the record and what would happen. To me, there's this like you know the film Grease. Yeah. Like you know at the end when they sort of, like they take off in the car, and I was thinking like, oh, that's kind of what you want. You want this like escape out of
the misery.
Out of the misery. And also like for me, there's something very like funny about you singing that you're like, I'm never going to be brokenhearted again. It's like
deciding.
Having, like, but also like this idea of like Robyn has like sad bangers, like this kind of like you know what I mean? It's just like actually no, like
and I killed it.
It's over.
Yeah, it's over.
It's
no more.
I'm never going to write this kind of melancholy song again. Like I love the idea of it, and at the same time, it's like, well, it's like of course it's not true. Like none of it's true.
No.
I remember like the lyrics. I think even so I'm trying to think the second verse.
Come on, just have it out. I just want you to be able to be yourself. There's nothing to worry about.
Oh yeah, this line. I love this line.
How about we stop arguing and do something else? So many things we haven't tried. Baby, you know we're just getting started.
Because there's like a pocket in the way that the melody came out that just invited all these words, and it's weird when it happens like that. There's just a song that enters, and it's not even about like trying to figure out the perfect words or anything. You're just more like vibing on how it sounds, and then I think we had written so many songs at that point that we were like quite clear on how to write lyrics together. And I feel like we wrote the chorus at the same time.
Yeah, no, it was all done super quick.
Yeah.
And I think like obviously making a record, it's about selling millions of records and making huge amounts of money.
Yes.
But for me, like making a record, like it's so much about the sort of experience of like being with someone and working with them and feeling like you've sort of achieved something. And I know like every single thing I've been involved in, you know, like which isn't a huge amount of stuff, but like on every record there will be like this moment where it comes easy and it feels great and you feel like you've sort of bridged this like creative thing between.
Or tuned into it.
Yeah. And I feel like with that, it was just like, oh, like from 5 minutes into making it, like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah,
and like,
it's going to be fine.
It's going to be fine. and like, for me, that kind of like, as well as it being the kind of end of making, I guess, that record, it was also like kind of such a perfect like way of being like, oh, okay, like we've done that kind of connected thing.
But that's also how you ended the song in the production as well, like epic.
Which I don't think I've got.
Outro?
I think this version I've got here is like, it's just like it peters out.
Yeah.